welcome to Microsoft Build. This is the Create a Custom Virtual Meetings app with Azure Communication Services and Microsoft Teams session. My name is Ben Olson, and I'm a Senior Product Manager with Microsoft Teams, and I'm joined by my colleague, Tomas.
Hi everyone, my name is Tomas Chladek. I'm Senior Product Manager from Azure Communication Services, and I'm going to keep the introduction of this session. We will start with a short agenda for today. We will kick off the session with introduction into virtual appointments and options that are provided by Microsoft to facilitate them. Then we will proceed with Microsoft Teams solutions for virtual appointments to set the stage for virtual appointments. Then we get to the core of the session for today, which is the extensibility story for the individual phases of virtual appointments. And we have one announcement to make in this section, so definitely stay tuned. In the end, we will wrap it up with the resources that helps you start with your virtual appointments. With that, let's start with the introduction. We all have experience from in-person and remote meetings. During pandemic, everything moved to virtual space, and we had a chance to compare those two options. As you know, both alternatives have their benefits, and today we will look on how Microsoft makes the virtual experience better for everyone. Let's look where do we see virtual appointments in real-life scenarios. As you can see, we are having multiple segments that are describing the virtual appointment scenario. Everyone had the first experience with healthcare or financial services where we took care of our health and we couldn't meet with our doctors in person, or when we had to manage our finances even when we couldn't go to the in-person appointment. But there were also small businesses that had to just change from day to day their business strategy, and instead of meeting in person, they had to go and meet virtually. There are other examples, such as interviews when you are looking for a new job, or children when they had to go to school, even where the schools are physically closed. So, what does it take to take a virtual appointment? If you think about it, virtual appointment is the experience where people are meeting remotely, but there are multiple steps that are happening before and after the session. So everything starts with scheduling. The business representative needs to find the right date and time for the customer and also him or herself to fit the virtual appointment. When the session is scheduled, there are pre-appointment actions that needs to happen before the session starts. So there can be actions such as filling in form or upload documents, providing consent. The customer can be also notified via SMS or email about the upcoming virtual appointment. At the day of the virtual appointment, there are technical requirements to set up the device. So the customer is using his phone or desktop to join the virtual appointment, and there are requirements to test the device if the internet connection is sufficient, the camera is enabled, or the video has the right lighting. When everything is set up, you can go to appointment when you are having the experience with the business. After the session, when everything is done, you can get follow-up email with a summary of the discussion or additional files or documents that were discussed during the session. With that, let's take a look on how Microsoft is providing solutions to virtual appointments. So everything starts with Microsoft Teams, where Microsoft Teams is providing complete solution for virtual appointments, from scheduling of the virtual appointment to manage who is actually waiting for the virtual appointment to analytics, how many appointments were made during the last month. As Microsoft Teams is part of Microsoft 365, you can use additional tools from Microsoft 365 to improve the experience for the customers with forms from Microsoft Forms or with booking experience for management of the bookings. Additionally, you can use Azure Communication Services and Graph API to customize the experience and provide a unique flow for your scenario. With that, let's take a look on how those options are playing together. So everything starts with virtual appointment that can be fully managed through Microsoft Teams. You can then take this experience and extend it with Microsoft 365 solutions. And if you are looking for extensibility options, you use Azure Communication Services for embedding and customizing the experience, or you can use Microsoft Graph for management of virtual appointments and meetings via dedicated APIs. So slightly different perspective on the same is that we are having ready-to-use solutions from Microsoft 365 that are using Microsoft Teams and Graph, and then we are having extensibility layer powered by Azure Communication Services and Graph API. This extensibility layer can be later on decomposed into two separate layers for no-code and low-code options. The no-code and low-code option is powered by Microsoft Power Platform with dedicated connectors for Azure Communication Services and Graph. If you would like to get more control over the experience, you can go with Pro Code option powered by Microsoft Azure that is using Azure Communication Services and Graph API to provide fully controlled experience. Let's take a look on a specific example of the stage when we are having the virtual appointment. If you would like to have this experience with out-of-the-box solution, you can use Microsoft Teams with their Microsoft Teams application or virtual appointment experience. If you would like to build your own experience, you can use Virtual Appointment Builder powered by Azure Communication Services, or you can use Power Automate to create your own flows for automation. If you would like to have more control over the experience and integrate it into your product, you can just use UI Composite for meeting and integrate one component into your existing solution. If you would like to define your own layout, you can use individual UI components and define your own experience. But if you would like to have your own user interface, you can just use SDKs for individual modalities. And with this, we are wrapping up the introduction session. As you can see, we have multiple options with Microsoft to provide virtual appointments. On top, you can see we are having Microsoft 365 with solutions that are ready to use. Then we are having no-code and low-code option with powered by Microsoft Power Platform. And on the bottom, we are having the Pro Code option where you can build your own experience with Microsoft Azure. The lower you go in the stack, the more customization you have. And also the higher you go, the faster time to market it is. So it is really about finding the balance where you want to meet and how you want to customize your experience. And with that, Ben, can you guide us through the solutions in Microsoft Teams?
Yeah, thanks, Tomas. Before we dive into extensibility options, let's start with an overview of our out-of-the-box solutions for virtual appointments. Within Teams and Microsoft 365, we offer a number of hosted first-party solutions to meet your virtual appointment needs. These offer less customization, but quicker speed to market. Our solutions range from a full-featured first-party Teams app, a lightweight virtual appointment Teams meeting template, to a Graph API that lets you integrate your own scheduling system. Depending on your needs, Microsoft has a solution for your virtual appointment requirements. For today's session, I'll give you a quick overview of our virtual appointment Teams app that is available today. With a virtual appointment, there's always two personas, the business representative and the customer. I will first walk through the business rep's workflow. The Virtual Appointments app in Microsoft Teams includes a comprehensive dashboard that provides appointment scheduling that's automatically integrated with Outlook-based scheduling and bookings. It is further enhanced with Teams Premium, which unlocks a snapshot into the queue of appointments, a summary of appointment analytics, and options to manage appointments. Schedulers can also view all of their weekly appointments and those of their entire department in one easy-to-navigate calendar. Virtual Appointments integrates with Microsoft Bookings and Outlook Calendar to reflect real-time availability, prevent double booking, and show all virtual appointments in one place. Schedulers can easily create an appointment from their schedule or enable clients to self-schedule an appointment through a website. Employees can also manage scheduled and on-demand virtual appointments in the Queue tab with advanced capabilities to track wait times, live status of a meeting, and more. Scheduling administrators and staff conducting virtual appointments can monitor incoming requests and process them appropriately on the Queue tab. And of course, providers can log into a virtual appointment directly from their Teams client. Now let's walk through the customer's perspective of the virtual appointment experience. Your customers will receive text messages to reduce no-shows and make it easier for attendees to join virtual appointments through their mobile devices. Attendees will receive a personalized confirmation and reminder text message with details of their appointment, including date, time, and a meeting join link that supports mobile browser join. Attendees can join via their mobile browser without needing to download an application. And with Teams Premium, you can create a custom waiting room for your external attendees so they receive a branded, first-class experience from the get-go. Customized with your company's logo, branding, and more. Our customer-friendly waiting room provides default text to the customer to let them know that they are in the right place. After the virtual appointment, administrators can also view aggregated analytics across their entire organization. They can view detailed activity for virtual appointments created and conducted through all virtual appointment scheduling entry points. Reports also include user information for capabilities unlocked in Teams Premium, including SMS, two-way waiting room chat, and queuing. All of this data can also be exported for additional analysis. Virtual appointments are available today as an application in Teams and are generally available. With the Teams Premium license, you can unlock additional features such as SMS notification, analytics, and queue, but you can get started today with all paid M365 licenses. Now that we've covered the out-of-the-box solutions, let's move down the stack to a low-code example of virtual appointments. The new Microsoft Graph Virtual Appointment API allows you to programmatically create virtual appointment join links to embed in your web app or backend service with an easy-to-use API. For some developers, they want access to the virtual appointment customer experience that you just saw, which includes the waiting room and the mobile browser join, but want to keep their scheduling system or third-party application as the controlling scheduling app. This new API does just that. It creates a virtual appointment join link, but allows the developer to maintain control of the scheduling and pre-appointment phases of the workflow. Until now, existing bookings APIs in the Teams app required you to use Outlook-based scheduling for virtual appointment functionality. The Virtual Appointment API is built on top of the existing Online Meeting API that creates a standard Teams join meeting link. This secondary API call creates a separate new join link to send to that customer persona to enable the virtual appointment join experience with the mobile browser join and waiting room. This new join link can be managed and embedded from any 3P app or backend service. Customers opening this link get the same join experience as the first-party applications. Let me show you a quick demo in Graph Explorer. Graph Explorer is a developer tool to learn more about Microsoft Graph APIs. In Graph Explorer, the first step is to create the online meeting. There are a number of optional payload properties to configure the meeting, but I'll just configure the ones that are required. In the response, you can see the standard join URL links for the team meeting and the online meeting ID. To create a virtual appointment and get that virtual appointment join link, we do a get call with this new online meeting ID and a subpath of get virtual appointment web join URL. In the response, the new secondary link is returned. When clicking on this link, it launches the virtual appointment hosted join experience. Let me show you how this works on mobile. Clicking that same link that we just created in Graph Explorer on Safari on iOS allows me to join without the Teams client downloaded. My microphone and video are on by default, and I join a waiting room instead of the standard Teams lobby with this customer-friendly text. The Microsoft Graph Virtual Appointment API is now in general availability. Just like the hosted application, Teams Premium unlocks additional functionality with the customer waiting room and analytics, but you can get started with this Graph API with any paid M365 SKU. And now I'll hand it back to Tomas to cover more extensibility options.
Thank you very much, Ben. It was interesting to see how we can use solutions and no-code options to extend the virtual appointments that are out of the box provided by Microsoft 365. And now let's proceed with the options, how to take the extensibility with no-code, low-code, and pro-code options to extend each and individual phase of virtual appointment. In this section, we are going to take a look on how we can take extensibility options of Microsoft Graph and Azure Communication Services to customize the experience of virtual appointment for individual phase. As you can see, Azure Communication Services and Microsoft Graph can help with most of the parts of the phases. Before we jump into each phase, let's start with the overview of the options that we are having. So if you think about virtual appointment, what we just saw, everything starts with booking of virtual appointment. In Microsoft Teams, you can create an appointment and it will create a calendar event. This calendar event is synchronized across Microsoft Booking and Outlook so that you are avoiding conflicts in the scheduling. This calendar event can easily be extended with Microsoft Teams meeting, so you are having the virtual appointment experience. If you would like to access the virtual appointment experience, you can use Microsoft Graph APIs to get the information about the online meeting, calendar event, and booking. As Ben described in the previous section, you can bring your own scheduling system to extend with Microsoft Teams virtual appointments while using third-party scheduling system. Additionally, you can use Azure Communication Services to build your own virtual appointment experience that is fitting your needs and processes. If you would like to send reminders and notifications to customers before the virtual appointment, you can use Azure Communication Services connectors in Power Platform that can take advantage also of approvals and Microsoft Forms. With that, let's go into scheduling. So as we discussed, there is a single scheduling system that is integrating all the experience. If we take a look on Graph Explorer, how we can schedule new calendar event, and in the calendar event request, we can define that we want to create also Teams meeting. In the response, we can then see identifier of the meeting that we'll be using for reference. And then additionally, we are going to take a look on join web URL that we are going to use for mapping the calendar event to the meeting experience. And also we are going to use it for joining the virtual experience from Azure Communication Services. On top of that, we can also create online meeting that is not attached to calendar event. This process was captured by Ben in the previous section. With that, let's take a look on pre-appointment actions that you can do before the appointment takes place. The main flow is powered by Microsoft Power Platform. You can define the triggers that will start the flow when booking or event is created on a specific time. Then you can define, for example, approval that message content is approved by the supervisor or the customer fill in a form or new document was uploaded to SharePoint. With this information, you can then use Azure Communication Services connectors to send email, chat message, or SMS. Let's take a look at an example how we can send SMS to a customer from Microsoft Teams. Everything starts in the channel where we are posting a message with the title and body. When the message is sent, the new approval is created and all assignees to this approval are notified that there is a new approval to be reviewed. Once the approver reviews the request, there is a condition that is defining whether the content is approved or not. If the outcome of the approval is equal to approve, this means that we can send SMS through Azure Communication Services connector to phone number defined by the Azure Communication Services. Once the approval is approved, we are proceeding in the left side in the flow where we are sending the SMS to the customer from the phone number acquired in Azure Communication Services with the body provided in the channel message. You can use different type of connectors and also different parts of the processes inside Microsoft Power Platform. And with that, let's move on to the day of the session. This is the time when we are going to pre-call setup. The customer received notifications about upcoming virtual appointment. They are leading to the virtual appointment experience. We encourage customers to set up a flow to help the customer define that their device is ready to be used for the virtual appointment. So you can check the microphone level, the camera, or network connection. Once everything is set up, you can move on and go to the lobby. Once the customer lands in the lobby, the business representative is informed there is someone waiting in the virtual appointment. You can customize this experience to play music, play video, or upload required files or fill forms for the customer so that the customer is engaged before the virtual appointment starts. At the time of the virtual appointment, we are providing the user interface components that you can integrate into your desktop and mobile applications. If you like the layouts, you can customize it with your own brand and colors. If you would like to define your own layout, just pick and choose individual components and define your own experience. If you would like to build your own user experience, just take underlying SDKs and build the experience all the way up. After the session, when everything is done, you can also create automated flows that are happening after the session. With that, we are also using Microsoft Power Platform that can again be triggered through booking, manual trigger, or Power Applications. We can use the same connectors as mentioned in the pre-appointment section. And that would be it for extensibility and virtual appointments. And with that, let's take a look on what we have seen today. We have scheduled a virtual appointment in Microsoft Teams, and we are able to see upcoming virtual appointments. We have also provided out-of-the-box virtual appointment experience for the customers to join without need to download additional application. We also seen extensibility options that helps you to build your own user interface or build your own solution on top of Microsoft Graph or Azure Communication Services. As we discussed the story today, we are already having lots of customer stories that are using virtual appointments with Microsoft 365 across segments. We are, for example, having NHS that is using it in healthcare. We are having Zurich Insurance that is using it for financial services, and also Security Bank that is using it for financial services. Additionally, we are also having customer stories for extensibility journey. We are having examples of financial services with ABN AMRO, virtual courts with Tech Unicorn, and integration of Microsoft Teams into cars with Link & Co. You can read more about those stories in the links below. And with that, we are wrapping up the session for today for Build for virtual appointments. You can read more about Microsoft 365, Microsoft Teams, and Azure Communication Services build announcements on Build 2023. You can read more details about Azure Communication Services extensibility story that we captured today with the code examples. And also you can learn more about virtual appointments as a story. Thank you very much for your time, and I'm looking forward to see you in the next session.